everybody, it's September, so that means it's time for flu season? I'm fucking sick. I don't know. What it really means is it's time for more free movies from Tubi.
Wanna go to the movies?
I like it spooky.
And I'm Brian with my co-host Rod. We're going to give you some free stuff. What you got this month, Rod?
Hey, I've got 5 categories again. Start with the action category once again. My recommendation for the action category is the movie True Lies from 1994, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, directed by the great James Cameron. And a little synopsis. A secret agent has a lot to explain when his wife discovers his career and gets entangled in a terrorist plot to steal nuclear warheads in the U.S.
Doesn't it also star Tom Arnold, Roseanne Barr's ex-husband, who's from
Iowa.
Ottumwa, Iowa?
Oh, is it Ottumwa?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is.
Rod and I are both heading over to Halloween-a-Palooza in October, the second weekend in October, the 11th and 12th.
11th and 12th, yes.
Put on by our podcast network, the PFPN, Halloween-a-Palooza. Huge gathering of Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5.
There's technically 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, they didn't get a 6. They didn't get part 6 at all. So
the canteen in the alley, the loose meat sandwich there in Ottumwa, Iowa. You ever been there? The little shop?
Yeah, several times.
So the restaurant in Roseanne is based on that, the Lamford Lunchbox.
Yeah, I think they've done an article about him there. Oh, did you know who else was in this movie?
No, who else?
That's even greater than Tom Arnold? Bill Paxton.
Never heard of him.
Whatever. Okay, so in the action category, the movie I need to check out next month is going to be The Last of the Mohicans. I have not seen it, from 1992, starring Daniel Day-Lewis and Madeline Stowe, directed by Michael Mann. Synopsis, just a short one. A wild frontiersman raised by a Mohican tribe has to fight for the woman he loves. And it sounds like it could be action or romance. I don't know.
I feel like Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those actors that Hollywood knows how great he is, but the general public does not understand how great of an actor he is.
Right, because he's like a chameleon. Like if you see Gangs of New York, he's completely different than like some of these other movies that he's been in.
My Left Foot, I think he won an Oscar for maybe that film. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's about, he plays piano. Maybe he only has a left foot.
Call him righty then.
What else you got?
Okay, go to the drama category. One of my favorites, The Outsiders from 1983. And I'm just going to give a couple names, starring Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, and directed by Francis Ford Coppola, the great Francis Ford Coppola.
What about The Karate Kid?
Okay, Ralph Macchio. And I could just keep going, Emilio Estevez.
Stay golden, pony boy.
A little synopsis. In the 1960s, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the youth of the working class and the youth of the wealthy clash in the streets. There's more to it than this, but it is one of the greatest movies from the 80s. And to have all these actors who were nobodies, because Tom Cruise was a nobody when this came out. A little fun fact too with this movie and Tom Cruise, he used the money that he made on this movie to get his teeth fixed. They were horrible.
I remember watching this as maybe a young adult and bawling my fucking eyes out. It's just a sad film. I mean,
it is
a great film, but yeah, sad.
The need to check it out in the drama category is a movie I've never heard of called Empire from 2002, starring John Leguizamo and Denise Richards, directed by Frank Reyes. Synopsis: a drug dealer in the South Bronx decides to have a Wall Street broker invest his money.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like government.
Yeah. I mean, you get John Leguizamo in a movie, you just never know what you're going to get. I mean, you get a certain thing, but crazy.
What else you got? Pick me up. Give me something to be happy about. These are all sad.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the romance.
Oh, here we go.
Bow chicka wow wow. My recommendation is a movie called Never Been Kissed.
Kiss me out of the bearded barley lightly beside the green grass.
from 1999, starring Drew Barrymore, David Arquette, directed by Raja Gosnell. Synopsis: a newspaper reporter disguises herself as a high school student as part of a research story.
She falls in love with one of the teachers, right?
But it's just the most ridiculous, because at this point, Drew Barrymore is well into her 30s and so much makeup on her, but I still love this one. My need to check it out for drama or romance, I'm sorry, is Poetic Justice from 1993, starring Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur, directed by John Singleton. Synopsis: a young hairdresser / poet finds common ground with a postal worker on thoughts of social injustices.
It's a good film.
Heard so much about it, but I've never once seen it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be up there with Love and Basketball. A lot of people love that movie, Love and Basketball. I feel like Poetic Justice is just as good, maybe a little rougher around the edges, so maybe not as friendly as Love and Basketball. So maybe that's why people don't like it as much.
The fourth category, I'm changing this one up to from last month, is Westerns. My recommendation is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly from 1966, starring Clint Eastwood, Lee Von Cleef, and directed by Sergio Leone. Synopsis: a bounty hunting scam joins two men in an uneasy alliance against a third in a race to find a fortune in gold buried in a remote cemetery. This is a trilogy, technically. I don't remember what the other two, like a fistful of dollars and a handful of dollars maybe, or the other two.
This is Clint Eastwood.
Eastwood, yep. And I heard somebody actually just talking about this on just a reel on Facebook, and they were talking about how as you progress in these three movies that go together, it just gets better and better, with the good, the bad, the ugly being the best. So
this would be the last in the trilogy. So we got the good and the ugly. Where's the bad? And which one of us is good and which one's ugly?
Hey, I'm working on getting the pretty. I'm not shaving. It could be because I'm lazy. All right. My need to check it out for the Western category is the 310 to Yuma from 2007, starring Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, and directed by James Mangold. Synopsis: a small-time rancher agrees to hold a captured outlaw who is awaiting a train to go to court in Yuma. A battle of wills ensues. The outlaw tries to psych out the rancher. I've heard a little bit about this. I know it's a famous kind of movie, but I've never seen it once.
Another one that I really thought was good. He's going for a hanging. He's going to trial and they're going to hang him high.
Sounds like a fun one, though.
Well, not for the guy getting hung, but yeah.
Yeah, it never is. All right. And then my final category.
Final category?
Yeah, the final category.
Play that. Before we go to our final category, we need to hear from our podcast network, the PFPN. Because, I mean, I don't know if you know, but last episode on the I Like It Spooky Horror podcast, we got an injunction. Oh, wait, that was on the Attack of the Killer podcast. Rod and I got in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
They were going to contact their attorneys. So we need to send it to them before we get in more trouble.
Yeah, let's send it to the Butthurt PFPN. We love you.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
So now that we've heard from our podcast network, the final category.
We're going back to sci-fi. And my recommendation is Total Recall, 1990, not the Colin Farrell one starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Once again, we're bringing him back. Michael Ironside, and directed by Paul Verhoeven. Sohovian, something like that. Synopsis: when Quaid goes to have a virtual vacation, he only finds that his life is turned upside down for a fight to make Mars habitable. And if you haven't seen this, that doesn't really give you much to go on, but you got Arnold, you got Michael Ironside. What more can you want?
Have they used CGI against any person more than they've used it against Arnold in movies?
Probably not.
I mean, Total Recall, it's CGI, right?
Right.
Running Man, it's CGI. They frame him for that. I mean, they turned him into the Terminator and probably used it in Predator and Last Action Hero. Every movie he's in has like CGI in it.
Gotta love it. Final need to check it out is a movie called Ultraviolet from 2006, starring Mila Djokovic, Cameron Bright, and directed by Kurt Wimmer. A synopsis: a group of diseased humans with increased physicality are in a war with the government, and one woman must protect a young boy.
Well, it sounds like we got a pretty good selection this month on Tubi, like we do every month, and they're free. One of the things that you found out last month as you watched the films from Appendages is that the films, some of them only last 30 days.
So 3 of my films that I needed to check out are going to be gone at the end of the month unless Tubi renews the contract. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'll be posting on the I Like It Spooky Facebook page, and I will let you know what I thought of these movies I have never seen before. I'll also let you know which ones are going to be gone by the end of the month. I'll try to do that early.
So some synopsis and a rating for the films.
Right.
So if you recommend something, then you watch it and you hated it, you can come back next month and be like, well, I'm sorry I recommended that because it was awful.
A lot of them sound pretty good.
So don't forget to check out the I Like It Spooky Horror Podcast, The Wrong Podcast Died, Appendages, Mishmash, Indie Spotlight, Rod's Horror Cave on Facebook.
Woohoo!
And hopefully we will see you at Halloween-a-Palooza in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Yeah, let's party.
Or we can just watch short films. I don't know. But until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.
That marks the end of our broadcast day here at The Wrong Podcast Died. Our transmission is powered by a frequency of 800 watts. We will resume our usual programming in 2 weeks. Until then, we bid you good night.